UFC 222, absolute banger card this Saturday. Probably one of the best cards of the year, and it is filled with great fights, top to bottom. There's going to be a lot of finishes, and I think a lot of dogs are going to be barking. We're going to break the card down from toe to head, and we're going to start with the first fight of the night. Matheus Camilo versus Slavaklaus Vyacheslav Borshev. I mean, I think minus 160 on Camilo is absolutely free. We have a 24-year-old who has basically dominated everyone in his regional scene tape. A couple hiccups here and there where he kind of gets meme subbed when he was 16 years old in his debut. And we have a mid-30s Slavaklaus who's looking wildly washed. And I think he's going to be getting finished here again. He's been kind of getting finished by anyone that can grapple. He's just getting less durable. At least in the past, he used to be able to fight through, and now he's just kind of getting choked and finished. I mean, Chase Hooper with the threat of the takedown dropped him, beat his ass until he kind of gave up the choke. You had his last fight against Terrence McKinney, who basically just took him down and choked him. I think Camilo, who was getting pretty easy takedowns on Gabe Green, is going to get even easier takedowns here. He's not going to have the UFC debut adrenaline dump. He's not fighting a guy coming down in weight. He's having a 35-year-old kickboxer who's 8-5. It's about as good a matchup as you can have if you have any semblance of grappling. And I think Matheus shows out here and gets his first finish in the UFC by submission in the first round, and that's sitting at about 10-1. We move on to the minus 1,000. Baysangar Sursurkayev is going up against Eric McConaughey, and he is minus 1,000 is Bangsagar. I mean, this should be a pretty quick fight. He should come in and finish Eric. Eric's been wobbled in almost all of his fights that I watched. He almost got finished in his fight against Cody Brundage. He did get finished against Ruselton. I think this is a pretty clear setup fight, and the line indicates that. I will take Bangsagar Sursurkayev by round 1 KO. He's not taking a fight on 3 days' notice after fighting on Tuesday, so I think in his debut UFC fight where he maybe didn't look the best and got tagged, the guy that he was fighting is much better than McConaughey. I think this is an obvious setup spot. He's minus 1,000 for a reason. Comes in and gets the job done. Round 1 KO. It is written in stone. And you get plus money on round 1 KO. You get plus 105. Under 1.5 seems free too as a little parlay piece. I think he comes out and gets the finish one way or the other. We get Fatima Klein, who is now full-time training as a fighter. She's 25, going up against a 40-year-old Angela Hill, and this is another spot that we have a couple of in this card where we have the new guard coming in and putting a beating and sending the old guard on their way to the commentating desk. I think Fatima Klein comes in. She's had a little bit of a lower level of competition, but she has dominated. She's looked great. She's showed flashes of being the real deal. Angela Hill, even in her prime, was fighting to close split decisions. Now at 40, we're starting to see her slow down. Her durability's falling down. I think Fatima sub is live, and that's a pretty big number. But I think inside the distance for Fatima is looking good. Her money line is massive. She's like minus 500. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I think she comes out, proves that she's the real deal, the prospect that everyone thinks, and gets the finish over Angela Hill, who probably retires. She's fought everybody there is, and now the new guard is coming in and going to send her on her way. Respect to Angela, but Fatima is going to get the job done, and minus 500 seems pretty good. Pretty close fight. Pat Sabatini going up against Chepe Mariscal, and the line movement has been all in Pat Sabatini's favor. You have a super dominant grappler. They fought in the past, and Chepe won a split decision, but it was going on 8 years ago. They're much more evolved now, and you have Chepe, who's fought some pretty bottom-of-the-barrel fighters who are also relatively fragile and kind of skating by. He's not getting a ton of finishes. He's getting decisions against guys that he probably should finish. He beat the fuck out of Damon Jackson, but who hasn't at this point? I think Pat Sabatini, I think he's too consistent and heavy top pressure. I think he runs back the performance he had last time against Sabatini. It was the big Joe Anderson burrito. And I think he can run that exact same strategy back again. Just get top control and hold Chepe down. Like, I just don't think Chepe has shown the power on the feet. Pat really struggles with big, powerful strikers. He's known to be a little bit fragile, and I don't know if Chepe's got those hands. He's definitely got cardio. It's going to be a scrap, but I think Pat uses his wrestling and just kind of grinds out a win for 15. Couple takedowns. I think he's going to be fine here. I think he's evolved. When you look at the guys who actually knocked him out, he's losing to guys like Diego Lopez. Like, that's a perfectly fine person to lose to, and other than that, he's kind of balling. Monster grappler. I kind of just tend to lean with the grapplers. If he's going to lose, he's going to get finished, and it's going to be embarrassing, but give me Pat Sabatini, big grappling advantage to get it done. Now, we have another one of the old guard coming in and getting sent out by the new guard. Kyle Daukaus, minus 400, and I mean, this just seems like another showcase spot where you have a relatively big name. You have Gerald Meerschaert, who's fought everybody. He's, I think, probably on pace for the most fights in UFC. What's his record? He got 37-20. Like, at this point, he is just so broken down. And I mean, his last fight against Michael Olajaychuk, he just looked like he had no place. He's slow. His chin's never been great. And now you're starting to see the durability even go faster. And I think Kyle Daukaus coming back from the regional scene, knocking out Michel Pereira, he's got a ton of momentum. And I think he keeps riding it. I think he gets another early finish. GM3 probably should be hanging them up here at this point, but if not, we will be fading him until he does. Keep giving him young prospects, and I think Kyle Daukaus comes out here and looks every bit of minus 400, gets the finish probably in the first round. I think he puts a really tough beating on Gerald Meerschaert. If he does not get a weird meme takedown, back control, something. I mean, Kyle Daukaus is a phenomenal grappler too. I just don't really see how Gerald gets it done other than some kind of meme. I will take Kyle Daukaus by round 1 finish. We have an absolute banger of prospects here. We have Cody Haddon going up against Malcolm Willmaker, who has all the hype in the world, and the line keeps moving towards him. I thought he was going to be a much bigger favorite, and it seems like the hipster dog pick of the week is Cody Haddon, and I kind of like it. I think when you have someone like Malcolm who's going to, I don't want to say rely on the big shots, but you saw even against Chris Moutinho, you saw, I mean, kind of in all of his fights, like, the volume is not where I think Cody Haddon, I think it's fair to say Cody Haddon's going to land more shots. He's going to have the grappling advantage. He's probably going to have the cardio advantage, but Malcolm Willmaker has the death touch. And if he lands that big shot, Cody's going down. So it's like, I think you're going to be pretty sweaty in the first round. I think you can probably get a pretty good live entry on Cody going into 2. But again, if he comes out and gets a takedown right away and Malcolm starts to slow down, you're not. So I think it's a prove-it spot for both guys, but I think we've seen enough defensively from Cody Haddon that he can get in, start working the grappling, get inside, hold just the clinch, let Malcolm feel him for a couple minutes. Like, if we get him working, like, we don't really know much about Malcolm at high level outside of the first round. Like, knocking out Chris Moutinho is cool. Beating the Cameron Simon the way he did was impressive, but I'm pretty high on Cody Haddon, and I think get through 3 minutes and this fight should be his. I would be shocked if we get out of the first round and Malcolm finishes him. I think, I mean, probably just want to take Cody Haddon here and ride the dog. Both guys, whoever wins is going to be moving. I mean, if Malcolm comes out and knocks out Cody Haddon, it's going to be rocket ship, and he's going to be one of the top guys because Cody Haddon's getting a ton of respect. And the line continues to move in Malcolm's direction, so it's a little bit concerning. If, like, you can play both sides a little bit, take Malcolm round 1 KO and then Cody 2-3 sub is probably not terrible. I don't hate it, but for me, I'll take the slight dog odds on the prospect. He's also younger. Malcolm's not as young as people think. You know what? Give me Cody Haddon. I'll take a dog shot here. Erin Blanchfield, Tracy Cortez. Erin's pretty big favorite. She's moving almost to minus 300. I think this fight is going to be both of them using their wrestling to negate the wrestling, and we're going to see a pretty slow 15-minute fight. And, I mean, do you want to be holding minus 300 Erin Blanchfield if I told you there was minimal wrestling and top time from her? I think Tracy's a good enough grappler to kind of negate the takedowns. I'll probably stay away from this. This does not seem like a safe Erin Blanchfield add to every parlay piece. I can't really talk myself into Tracy as a dog either. I think just let this fight, just, you know, use it as a go get a snack or a bathroom break. And parlay over 2.5, it's most certainly going the distance. And I don't think we see much in the way of top time from Erin Blanchfield. She probably wins, but I think you're going to see a relatively low volume striking fight here, which is probably not the consensus, considering they're both pretty elite grapplers. I will take over 2.5, and we move on. Roman Kopylov going up against RoboCop, and I feel like you got to take a shot on Roman Kopylov here. I mean, they both kind of have similar flaws. They both tend to gas pretty hard. They're both pretty powerful strikers. Gregory Rodriguez is a great grappler who doesn't want to grapple, so I think you take the durability edge on Roman Kopylov, and I think he can find a shot. Gregory's chin is super suspect. He's been flatlined many a time. They're both not great cardio guys, so I think if we get out of the second, this is going to just turn into a slot fest, and maybe Gregory round 3 sub is okay. But early, I think Kopylov wins the striking. He's a much more durable guy. This is going to be a great scrap. Someone's going to get finished, and I think round 1 Kopylov is okay by my book, round 2 even, and then if it gets to round 3, you can probably look for a Gregory Rodriguez sub if it turns into a gas. I mean, we saw Roman in round 3 against Curtis and Anthony Hernandez. Like, we've seen this guy fall off. We've seen Gregory fall off cardio-wise. But in the first round, this is going to be crazy. Someone's probably going to sleep early, and I will take the dog money on, in my opinion, the better striker while they're fresh, Roman Kopylov, to find the shot on a guy who's been put down many a time. Right. Bo Nickel, Rodolfo Vieira. It's kind of similar to what I think is going to happen in the Erin Blanchfield Tracy Cortez fight. I do not think it's going to be a very good scrap. I think you probably have both guys avoiding the grappling. I don't think either of them will be able to get a successful takedown. Maybe Bo Nickel, as the fight goes on, goes that way once Rodolfo starts to slow down. And Rodolfo's never going to take Bo Nickel down. I think you see, similar to the Tracy and Aaron fight, 15 minutes of middling striking at range. Bo Nickel probably wants to conserve some energy, just go 15, get his legs back under him. Probably similar to the Paul Craig fight. We've seen him fight an elite grappler. I mean, Paul Craig, is different than Rodolfo Vieira, but, the same game plan is they want to get to the ground, and Bo Nickel will avoid that using his wrestling. And I think we see him win a relatively slow striking match on the feet. Bo Nickel minus 225 seems okay. I think you can probably look for that. Maybe a late finish. I don't really love the over-under 2.5 here, but I think Bo Nickel seems relatively safe for a bounce-back, buyback spot. Buy low at, minus 225, buy low, but he's been minus 1,000 every fight of his career, so let's move on. I think Bo Nickel probably cruises to a decision. We have an absolute banger of a matchup. Benoit Saint-Denis, my guy. Hopefully you don't have staff, because I think this is going to be a fight he will be getting a knockout. Beneil Dariush's chin has never been great, and it seems to be getting even worse. We're on a similar path to the, I don't honestly, because the Kyle Daukaus Gerald Meerschaert one isn't really fair, because Beneil is just a way better scrambler and just kind of better overall than GM3, but I think you have a situation where Beneil is such a good counter striker or counter grappler, and Benoit is so aggressive that I think it's going to turn into a scrap, and I just don't think Benny's chin can hold up at this point. Give me Benoit by KO. I think it's going to just be a car crash, and Beneil's good enough of a grappler to not either get taken down or win scrambles, and it's just going to turn into absolute mayhem on the feet. And at this point, at his age and durability, I don't think Beneil can hang in a firefight, to be honest. So I think Benoit by KO. It's pretty juiced. You don't love it, and Beneil is such a good fighter. They don't even feel laying minus 200 is safe or fair on Benoit. Like, in a firefight, he could get chin too, but his durability seems unreal. I think at this point in their careers, price, indicating Benoit should cruise and probably finish, unfortunately. But I think the grappling counters out, and we have the opposite of the Bo Nickel and Erin Blanchfield fights. The grappling counters out, and it turns into a high volume scrap on the feet. Give me Benoit by finish. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. We have a pretty big dog money on Leon Edwards, plus 170, and I think you kind of just have to take Leon here. I don't know, I think we see Leon take a similar strategy that Ian Gary did, and for only 3 rounds, I think he can strike from range, get a takedown here and there, and I think Leon as a dog at this point, former champion, I'm happy with that. Give me Leon Edwards as a dog. If it's a competitive striking match, it's a competitive striking match. If Carlos Prates is the real deal and comes out and chins Leon Edwards, so be it. I will not be taking Carlos Prates minus 200 pretty much over anybody here. I'm relatively low on him compared to the market. Low on both guys, but give me almost plus 200 on a former champion. I gotta take it. Give me Leon Edwards, maybe a sub, but probably just a kickboxing match for 2.5 rounds, and I'll take a dog shot. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. I mean, this is the way that this fight is gonna go is probably gonna lead to a #1 contender fight, because whoever wins is probably gonna look wildly dominant. You're either gonna see Sean Brady take him down and get subs and just ride him out, or you see Michael Morales come out and just starch him. So I'm gonna be taking the dog shot. Give me Michael Morales, the prospect, the freak athlete. The dude moves like a panther. He's a freak to come out. And we've seen Sean Brady struggle if he can't get the takedowns on the feet. I think we're going to find out pretty quick who is going to win this fight, and I will take the younger, just absolute specimen to come out and prove that he is the absolute real deal. Give me Michael Morales by KO. Money line is plus 120. Oh, it's coming down. It's plus 115 now. You might see this turn into a pick'em. You can take Sean Brady 2-3 sub props if you want, but I'm going to be taking Michael Morales round 1-2 KO. Gotta believe. I'm just going to take the younger, more explosive guy. Valentina Shevchenko up against Weili Zhang. I mean, how do you not just take Weili Zhang as a dog here? It's going to be a competitive 25-minute fight. Valentina just fights that way now. She's the GOAT. She's awesome. She's a little bit older. Both of them aren't that young, but I want to see weigh in, see how much bigger Valentina is than her. But for me, give me the dog in this fight. It's going to be a close, competitive 25-minute fight. I'll take my chances. You can't go wrong in either way. They're both awesome, but a dog in a close 25-minute fight, I'll take Weili Zhang, I mean, they're both going to probably get takedowns here and there, but we've seen Weili just absolutely dominate with the wrestling. Valentina just feels a little bit more washed at this point. She's going to be bigger. It's going to be a great fight. I can't blame you for going Valentina, but for the money line, I'd probably just take the shot on Weili as a dog. Like, how many times are you going to get Weili Zhang as a dog against anybody? I mean, I want to see weigh-ins. If Valentina is much bigger, which I don't think she is, I think that would be the only thing that would push me that way, but I think Zhang gets takedowns, probably more takedowns, and just in general has more output. Valentina's output has not been huge her last couple of fights. Even against Menon, like, she got a couple takedowns. She broke her nose pretty early, which helped. I'll take Weili as a dog. It's going to be a high-level fight for 25 minutes. You can't be upset. The main event. We're going to find out if Islam is that guy. For me, kind of going back and forth. I want to talk myself into a jack bet here and say that Islam going up, starting to take creatine for the first time. I think if Jack can get out of the first 7.5 minutes of this, he's going to be super live. I think Jack wins 3-4-5 at a pretty high clip. We've seen Islam, I wouldn't say struggle, but his entire career up until this point and his defenses have been beating former 145ers, taking guys on short notice. Dustin Poirier, former 145er. Charles Oliveira, former 145er. Volk twice. He's beating all these guys that have come up at one point in their career, and now he's going up and not really giving that much time for himself to go up. Like, he's probably just not cutting that much weight. I think Jack's going to be much bigger. No, he's the better striker. We've seen Islam chinned in the past. It's a long time ago. We've seen him go to war with a 145-pound Volk. Go to war. Dustin Poirier fight was much closer than you kind of remember. He's looked dominant when he's looked dominant. And if Jack doesn't get subbed in the first round, I think it gets super interesting. I think Islam looks dominant in the first, and then you probably live bet Jack. I don't know. It's going to be very sweaty first 7 minutes for Jack. And I think if you can get through that, then it opens up. I think Islam wins the first 2 rounds at a high rate. I think Jack wins the last 3 rounds at a high rate. Islam's cardio has never really impressed me all that much, and now he's putting on a bunch of weight and going up. Maybe the weight cut affected it. We're going to see if he's that guy and comes out and subs Jack Della in the first round, who we've seen kind of get grappled in the past. Gilbert Burns took him down. Basil Hafez took him down. The writing is on the wall for both guys. They both have shown somewhat weaknesses and where the other fighter is strong, but there's just a lot of unknowns, and going up 15 pounds when you've made a career beating somewhat smaller guys, and now you're going up against probably the best striker you have and the most durable in their prime guy you have. I don't think you're going to be upset if you take a dog shot on Jack, especially if you play it with like a late finish prop. For the fun of it, let's go Jack Della by finish in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round at huge plus money. You're going to get 20 to 1 on that. And that wraps up the card. Let's go a little rapid fire to get through it with the picks. It's a lot of dogs. It's a lot of dogs. And you can see on my Bet MMA, the website that I use to track, that betting dogs is one of the best statistics that my account has. I track everything, and you can see 6% ROI. We're up about 30 units on betting slight dogs this year. And let's keep it going. We're going to take Jack Della, dog. Weili Zhang, dog. Michael Morales, dog. Leon Edwards, dog. Wow, that's 4 dogs in the main card that we're riding with. I think 2 of them win at minimum. Benil, we will be taking Benoit Saint-Denis. We will take Bo Nickel. We'll take Roman Kopylov, dog. Aaron Blanchfield, we'll say wins, maybe gets a 1 takedown here, and maybe just outworks Tracy. It's going to be a close fight. Cody Haddon, dog. Kyle Daukaus, round 1 KO. Pat Sabatini rides Chepe for a decision. Fatima Klein gets a finish. Basinger, Sursakayev, round 1 KO. And then Mateus Camillo.